People who are good at flirting. What are some social cues us oblivious people should watch out for? Everyone is giving good advice, but flirting didn't click for me until I heard it described not as a set of behaviors to look out for, but as an escalation of suggestive behaviors couched in plausible deniability. Put practically, if someone is doing something to engage you that feels extra, lots of touching, looking at you in a way that feels a bit too long, or doing a lot of poking fun and complimenting you, then that might be flirting, or it might not. That's the whole point. Plausible deniability. They can safely disengage at any time. If you want to know if someone's flirting, you need to test it. You do that by escalating things, but just a bit, so that now you have plausible deniability. Touch them back in a comfortable way, maintain eye contact, or joke compliment them back. If they escalate back, and continue to do so as you escalate in turn, that is flirting. Eventually one of you will break cover and do something with clear intent, a kiss, an approach plus ask for a number, or straight up telling them what you think of them and that you're interested. Otherwise, if you escalate and they don't change their behavior or they back off, then they were probably just being friendly and you should take the hint and do the same. Dunno if that's something obvious to people, but it was definitely not for me, and college parties would have been way less fun had I not known. Hopefully this can help someone else too. If you're in a group of friends, new or old, find a natural opportunity to hang back. Someone who's interested in you will notice and take the opportunity to talk to you in private. Now this isn't foolproof, but it'll at least give you the opportunity to feel for any chemistry between you. Be wary of a one-sided conversation. If your responses are met with mostly yeps and aha and nothing without meat, it's probably not going well. Someone replied, people love to talk about themselves. Ask open-ended questions that let them ramble. If you actively listen, Google it. There's videos that help and occasionally relate back to earlier conversations. Is this the same girl you were telling me about with the big earrings? That's the place where Jim fell off his chair, right? You'll be a really good listener and people will love talking at you, sometimes too much. Holy shit, did not expect this to resonate with people. Thanks for awards. This advice is literally from the Dale Carnegie book How to Win Friends and Influence People, if you'd like follow-up reading. I remember going on 9 dates with a girl who just got out of a long relationship and just wanted to be friends, to which I had said cool, let's just hang out then. One night she was dropping me off at my place after a movie, turned the car off, put her arm on my headrest as we chatted. Before I got out, I was fully in the mindset that we were just friends, so I shook her hand. Good night. R.I.P. Good at flirting also means recognizing when the other party isn't receptive. If they're answering briskly and killing conversation, cut your losses and move on. Flirting is like sales. You won't get everyone, but if you chat with enough people, you'll find someone into you. Especially when they are talking to cops and pointing at you, that's when you know she's into you. I've always assumed they are making fun of me. Someone replied, the difference between the two is self-confidence, I'm afraid. I read once that if someone looks at you after someone, doesn't have to be you, said something funny and everyone is laughing, they like you. From personal experience, it's true. They make a lot of eye contact, ask you lots of questions. They laugh at your jokes, even the lame ones. They initiate physical contact. They try to find space where you can talk more privately. This does not always mean sex, but it often means they wish for more quality time with you. Edit. As other users have mentioned, do not take these as signs that a worker is interested in you. They literally get paid to seem interested in the concerns of every customer/client. Furthermore, any of these one signs alone is not confirmation someone likes you. Everyone flirts differently and some may not even use any of the above. These were simply some traits that came to mind based off my limited experience. I have never been an expert at reading signals. I was always shy, but I think the most important aspect of flirting is demonstrating that you take a keen interest in the other person and want as much one-on-one time to get to know them better as a person. Some people will rush the sexual aspect of dating at which point their flirtations become more physical and obvious. But for most dating adults, signals are more subtle and revealed through conversation. Does someone spend a lot of time around you? I'm terrible at flirting, but that's my method. Hang out. Be with this person. See if you vibe. Generally there's no one thing that gives it away. Everyone says to look for eye contact, look at posture, look for mimicry, etc. And sure, there's some truth to that, but no one should be expected to keep track of all of those things, and not everyone exhibits any particular one. In my experience, almost everyone can get a sense that someone is into them, but most people second guess themselves until they convince themselves it's nothing. I say trust that sense. It's based off all of these factors that we pick up consciously and subconsciously, and almost always it's not a coincidence. When you think someone likes you, you can test that theory in a few ways. A subtle but effective example is inviting them to something you know they can't or don't want to attend. If they express interest in rescheduling or finding some other way to spend time with you, they like you. Otherwise they'll just say no, sorry I can't make it. This works because you're showing interest in spending additional time with them. This event would be more enjoyable for me if you were there, and if they like you, they will be sure to make it clear that they are saying no to the event, not to you. Of course, you could also just ask. In my experience, anyone worth getting intimate with is mature enough to deal with that question. Someone replied, a few examples of things that have helped: give away someone's feelings for me, telling their friends about me, remembering my schedule or other similar information, telling me about their previous interest with striking similarities, bragging about themselves in ways that would make a potential partner happy. I give great back massages, or I cook a mean omelette, asking what my plans are at the end of a party/gathering instead of their friends, looking for or grasping onto shared interests. Does their body turn toward you or away from you when you talk? Do they mirror your body language? Someone replied, usually they have their back to me. What does that say? They are presenting the booty. Someone replied, you know the rule. If the booty is presented, the relationship is cemented. Small body language clues. If she puts her feet behind her ears, she probably likes you. When they find opportunities to come talk to you more often, when they don't really have to, and linger for longer than they have to as well. One time I got the courage to look at someone in the eyes and said, I need one of those hugs that turn into sex. He laughed, said me too, then continued talking about what we were previously talking about. I thought about running face first into a wall. Edit. Okay, came back from dinner and got so many notifications. This was just a one-off comment venting about my sad love life. This actually happened this week, haha. I could answer a few questions before I die of sadness and embarrassment. Thanks for the awards 3. Edit 2. It seems like from all the comments, 40% thinks Hez clueless for not picking up the hint, 40% thinks I'm clueless for not following up his reply with a hug, 20% thinks Hez not into me. All fair. It really depends on who you're talking to. My advice is to be observant. Some would prefer banters. Usually, when coming up with something witty, they return back what you said, but relating it in a playful or opposing manner. I hope you get what I mean, or playfully challenging your views. When it comes to touch, subtle touch on the arm or shoulders, or patting the head and smile. Trying means to be with you is also a sign, but some are a little more low-key, like me, that'll probably prefer showing a playful side when it's just alone. So, it is also a sign if they change their aura from normal/serious to playful when it's just you alone. I hope these help. When a person is making relatively sensual physical contact, please, and I mean please, get flustered, or at least mentally flustered. Do not ignore them, because you've known them a while. Do not pass it off as jokes. Look for some signals. You'll regret not doing so. I've never been oblivious, but goddamn, have I missed hints before. Edit. Wow, I'm glad some people are as hopeless as I was, but this being my top comment disappoints me. Someone replied, instructions unclear. Girl touched my arm. I started doing my taxes. Mirroring body language. This is a tactic employed by people who work in sales and it's not always conscious. This is a psychological disarmament tactic we, as humans, deploy on each other. In the case of someone who likes you, while interacting, watch for repetitious patterns and mimic their body language. Eventually, if you cross your arms and the person whose attention you are seeking does the same, for example, you can rely on that being a good sign. That's not to say you need to reposition or fidget while interacting. Remember, being comfortable and at ease is a way bigger turn on and ultimately lends itself to a more approachable experience for all parties. After all, acting natural is a penultimate GD mind trick. Someone replied, I pick my nose, she doesn't, every single time. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. People will give a lot of cues subconsciously. Also, some actions are flirting for some, but just being friendly for others too. Pay attention to their eye contact with you compared to others. If one has small amount of eye contact with others, but a lot with you, generally it means they're comfortable with you. Physical contact is usually big for people who aren't already touchy. People will generally be more touchy with those they like. When in a group and everyone's laughing, people generally look at the one they're most comfortable with first, or the one they like. Could be either or both. Action imitation is big. If you think someone is into you, do an action like hands in pocket or something. If they copy, they probably like you, or are paying serious attention to you for some reason. If they laugh at your dumb joke, either they like you, or the joke made them uncomfortable. Depends on the situation. Playing with hair is one that can mean something too, but some people also just do that out anyway. Really, I'd say some things can be a good tell more often than not, but sometimes those actions can just be them being friendly. Unless it's blatantly obvious, it can be something else. That's why the communication or the risk of asking someone is important.